OnTheBlockWithJen@gmail, OnTheBlockWithJen on Facebook, On the Block with Jen right here on YouTube. It's very easy. It is On the Block with Jen. Welcome to another episode. I'm glad to see you here. I'm not going to keep you long. I know it is late on the East Coast if you're on the East Coast. It's not that late for me on the West Coast, but I know it's late for you guys, so I'm not going to keep you long. I just wanted to jump on this Britney Griner story because it is piping hot. Big Truck Series review is in the building. He's in the chat, and he had a lot to say on my community page about Britney Griner. I was like, whoa, okay. So it'll be interesting to have him up here on the panel tonight. Again, not going to keep you long, really quickly. I wanted to address the whole baby mama, baby daddy, McDonald's thing fiasco that's going on that went viral and it has divided us, right? Has started a new gender war, right? Just when you think Kevin Samuels is resting peacefully in his grave, a whole new gender war has erupted over the McDonald's debate. Should a man bring food for all the children that his baby mother has, even the ones that aren't biologically his? Should she feed her children and not worry about, you know, him bringing food to all the children? Turns out it was a hoax. She is a TikToker that does baby mama versus girlfriend TikTok videos. It was all a hoax. I say my point of view remains the same because even though it was a hoax and she's a TikToker, it happens every day, B. Right? It happens every day in our communities. Baby mamas and, you know, baby daddies are dragging each other to hell. And sometimes they have more than 1, 2, 3, 4 kids and they're not biologically, you know, there. So that happens all the time. So my comments remain the same, despite it being a skit. You know, Shorty's hustling, I guess. That's how she's hustling up her views and her spins. More power to her, whatever. But again, it happens all the time. And that's why it triggered so many people. Okay. A few minutes, a few seconds of that video triggered so many people. And they started thinking about their own experiences with their baby mamas and their baby daddies and their multiple children out of wedlock. So all hell broke loose over that video. Although it was just a skit, started a hell of a debate. So in case you guys aren't you know, up to date on that, it was a hoax, but my comments on it remain the same. I am neutral. I thought they were both idiots, whether it was fake or not. So let's get into this Britney Griner, because I know you guys can't stay with me all night, although I love when you guys are here. I know you can't stay with me all night. So Britney Griner, it is not looking good. I thought this was just a little faux pas. I thought there was just, you know, an American athlete out in Russia who plays in Russia and got caught with some weed, or I'm sorry, it was vape pens, and there was cannabis oil in the vape pen. So it wasn't like she wasn't carrying around like bricks of marijuana. She had some vape pens and she had some cannabis oil in it, and she got caught you know what I mean, at the airport, and they locked her ass up. Okay, that's what happened. Now, I thought it was just going to be some, you know, a little slap on the wrist, but she happened to be traveling into Russia during that whole Ukraine-Russia war, right? And I guess she took it upon herself to think, I don't know what she was thinking. I don't know if she was thinking, I can do this. I'm American. I play basketball out here. I can bring whatever the hell I want. I don't know what she was thinking. I just know when I travel and I'm traveling within the United States, I'm super careful about, you know, packing regular things in my luggage, like shampoo, like soap. Is this too big? Is this too small? Are they going to stop me at the gate for this? Are they going to search my bag? So I'm very, very careful. So I don't understand why someone traveling out of the country would take it upon themselves to not only forget cannabis oil pens, any type of vape, any type of cigarette, anything. I would not want to be stopped about anything, okay? I'm sure she makes good money to play in Russia. I'm sure there's cannabis out there that she could have got her hands on, but for some reason, I guess she wanted, you know, her plugs vape cannabis that she wanted out here, and she wanted to take it out there. Maybe she didn't like cannabis oil vape pens that are out there. Maybe cannabis oil pens, vape pens aren't available in Russia. Either way, are we saying free Britney Griner or play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Now, the reason why, hey, what's up, Lawrence? The reason why I'm like, whoa, this is more serious than I thought is because, people like the New York Times are saying she will most likely lose trial. She will most likely be convicted. She will most likely have to do those 10 years. So that's a little scary now. That's now it's a different conversation because I really thought she was going to get a slap on the wrist because she's working out there, right? She's a basketball player, right? I'm sure she's a big deal out there, even if she's not a big deal in America. When our athletes go overseas or our artists go overseas, our music artists go overseas, it's like, oh my God, you're a big deal. And here it's like, yeah, whatever, right? So, it's getting scary. It's getting scary. A lot of notable media is saying, no, she is going to do the 10. She's going to lose trial. They say that the prosecutors in Russia win 99% of the time. They're like the feds in America. So what do you think? Should we negotiate to get her back? I heard there's like this Russian inmate in America, and they want Biden to negotiate and trade them out, send the Russian guy over there and bring Britney over here. I don't know if Biden is even capable of doing such. Sometimes he looks like he don't know if he's coming or going. So I don't know. I'm going to drop the link really quickly so we could discuss this for a little bit. And you guys tell me what you think if you want to come up. Do you care? Do you care about Britney Griner coming home? Are there bigger fish to fry in America right now? People are still dying of the COVID. The gas is going up. Do you care about some privileged athlete getting caught at the airport with some cannabis oil vape pens? Do you care? Are there more important things? Do you care that she does the 10 years? Do you feel like she's American? Let her come home. She's American. Do you feel that way? Or do you like, no, there's bigger fish to fry here? What do you think? I'll drop the link and you let me know what you think. I know we can't stay up all night, my people, but I just wanted to see your faces before tomorrow. So I dropped the link. I would like to hear what Big Trucker Series Review has to say because he had a lot to say. Okay, in the community section, he had a lot of details. Muchos detalles. Tristan! Okay, Tristan says, I care, but this is the consequence of American naivete. Tristan, was it naivete? Did she not know the rules in Russia, being an athlete that's traveled to Russia often to play? I know I can't take any type of vape pens in my luggage. I know I can't even take a bottle bigger than 4 ounces in my luggage. So did she not know? Was she naive or was she being an asshole? Because there's a big difference. What's up, Big Trucker? How you doing?
Good evening, Jen. How are you today?
I'm really, really good. Thank you. A little tired, but I really wanted to jump on this story before it gets lost in the ocean of the algorithm because I find it very interesting only because it's a lot more serious than I thought.
Do you live in New York City or are you in another state?
I'm on the West Coast now, but I'm born and raised.
Oh, you're on the West Coast. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, because the background had me confused. I was like, oh, gee, I thought you were in the Bronx or something.
No, not anymore.
Okay. Well, okay, let me just say a couple of things real quick to keep it moving. First of all, as far as I'm concerned, this was a huge there was a number of failures here. First of all, before I even get to her personal mistakes, I don't understand how she even got this stuff through airport security in the first place, because airport security should have made sure that, especially knowing where she was going, airport security never should have allowed her to get this stuff on the plane. That's number one. The lithium-ion batteries in these vape pens in the first place is considered a fire hazard, so you wouldn't even been allowed to just pack that with your luggage willy-nilly. Now, if she carried it in her carry, like the stuff that you carry on the plane, if she carried it there, they should have caught that, because that should have been treated as if it was contraband, or you're not supposed to bring that stuff on the plane. They tell you up front.
Just to clarify for the chat and anyone watching, What do you mean by how did she get it on? Do you mean leaving America or
leaving America? She should have never been able to get that stuff through airport security, period. Okay. That stuff should have never been able to get, because at first, the battery alone, they don't allow you to have lithium-ion batteries in your luggage. Now, if she carried it on her person or if she had it in her check, I could see how she could have snuck it past. But still, that just tells you that there's a failure with airport security. I would also be willing to bet that this isn't the first time that she's done this. I'm pretty sure she's done this multiple times. Now, the miscalculation is this administration, the Biden administration, these neocons that we have in our government, they have been constantly attacking Russia since Trump was in office. If you think back, first of all, she was arrested in February, number one. She was arrested February 17th. That was before Russia invaded Ukraine. And that was also around that time they were finishing up the Olympics that we just had. And if you remember, we were giving Russia all types of shit about their Olympic athletes. And we basically had a war against their Olympic athletes, and we were giving them a hard time. So if America was thinking and doing due diligence, they would have called back all of our diplomatic personnel or anybody who doesn't have diplomatic immunity. They would have called them back and said, listen, this is not a good time to be in Russia because something's going to happen. Because if you think about it, Russia had lined up its troops to fight Ukraine, and they had just been waiting that entire time. Now, that's the equivalent of us getting ready to go to a war with somebody. For you to be an American and to be there, and they not tell you, listen, you should pack your stuff and come back now. That was a huge miscalculation on our part. I don't think our administration paid any attention to it. And she is now a political prisoner. I've gone to these countries before. I've lived in China. China's a communist country. Russia has illegal. It's illegal to have medicinal use cannabis. It's illegal to have recreational or medicinal, because right now they have alcoholism and they have substance abuse problems that they're trying to crack down on. So marijuana state is not like it is here in America. And a lot of Americans are ignorant and just dismissive of the laws of these other countries, because I've met white kids in China who were bringing marijuana over there. And I'm like, you guys must be out of your mind. I don't want nothing to do with that. If y'all get caught, y'all are in serious trouble.
So let me ask you a question about political prisoner. Westlife Shapino, thank you for the super chat break. He says, peace, love, and light to you, Loca. Muchas gracias, mi amor. Thank you for that super chat. I want to ask you, when you say political prisoner, okay, that's what we're deeming her, right? America's like, she's a political prisoner, but isn't Russia just like, no, she's a criminal. She was bringing drugs into our country, and we lock up people that bring drugs into our country. Does Russia deem her a political prisoner, or are we saying that because we want her back?
Well, first of all, she would technically, if you get caught, if you're a low-level person and you get caught going into another country, especially when you get caught at the airport, right? If they want to, all they got to do is deny you entry to the country and send you back. They showed the videotape of her opening up her bags and going through the whole process. And they know that these vape cartridges with the hashish oil, they know that that's a minor thing. They could have simply canceled her visa and sent her back. That's what they could have done. I consider her to be a political prisoner because when you look at the overall situation, America did a lot of illegal things to Russia. Not only did I just mention they were attacking their Olympic athletes, for one, using the Olympic Committee. On top of that, we froze Russian assets, kept a lot of their money, froze it, made it so Russia just recently defaulted on its debts. And now it's not like they don't have the money. We have unilaterally, without any due process whatsoever, frozen their assets. That's why I call her a political prisoner. Now, there's a dude in this link who I'm not really paying that much attention to. He's up there talking about, what are you talking about, blah, blah, blah. The bottom line is, I have the references to back up everything I'm saying. So I could care less what this dude's saying, whoever that is, whatever. But my point is, she's a political prisoner because what they could have done is they could have simply denied her access and said, get back on the plane, you're going back to America, we're expelling you. You're not allowed to come here. What they did instead was arrested her and gave her a show trial. And it's basically, at this point, it's a kangaroo court because, see, Russia, unlike America, Russia convicts 99% of anybody who they put on trial for substance abuse. It's not like America. America, everything's a joke here in America. And that's part of the reason why she took that stuff over there. She's used to dealing in a country where, oh, it's just a slap on the wrist for everything, you know? But in Russia, they're not playing those games. And not only that, they're not very friendly to LGBT at all. And on top of that, after what America's done to them, I totally understand the reason why America would do this. America's going to use her as leverage. Anybody who we've locked up, the Biden administration, anybody who they've locked up, they're going to use her to get those people back. And that's just it. So that's why you're a political prisoner. A political prisoner is what you are if you're in a situation where a country is going to use you as leverage to get back their personnel who are overseas. That in and of itself makes her a political prisoner.
But has Russia started even negotiating yet? Have they stated this is a political prisoner? You want her back? Send me that guy. Send me Drago. Send me Ivanko. And have they done that, or are they just like, look, she's going to trial on Friday. She may get these 10 years. Is Russia like, you want her back? Give us blah, blah, blah.
Russia has not done that. America has been trying to do that. But the problem you have to understand is the Biden administration has no diplomatic ability whatsoever because of what we've done to Russia. You have to understand this Ukraine, if the Ukraine war, and they don't even call it a war. Russia calls it a special operation because a war is something that happens between two evenly matched opponents. As far as they're concerned, this is a curb stomp. They're walking in there blowing Ukraine up, and that's it. The reason why this is happening in the first place is because United States, through NATO, has positioned offensive weapons all around the Russian border. The Russians are pushing back on that, and they're taking over as much of Ukraine as possible, and they're creating a buffer zone to keep NATO away from its border. I mean, this is exactly why we went to the Cold War with Cuba and the Cuban Missile Crisis. It's because Russia was putting weapons in Cuba that's 90 miles off the coast, and if you fire a missile, it only takes 5 minutes to get here. Russia doesn't want NATO putting offensive weapons right on its border. So ultimately, this never would have happened if it wasn't for America's aggression through NATO. If Trump was president, first of all, this would not be happening. Second of all, if Trump really wanted to, he'd make one call over there to Putin, and Putin would have let her go. But this would not be happening if not for the Biden administration. The Biden administration dropped the ball.
Why do you think it would have been different with Trump? Is it because he's friends with Putin?
I believe if you think about the Trump administration, you remember how everybody was saying, okay, Trump's the president, we're going to get into a war now. Trump did everything he could to keep us out of war. He even met with the North Korean president against all of the neocons in our office who didn't want him to do that. He was trying, I'll give him his credit where it's due. We went 4 years with him. There was no war. He met with these leaders trying to get them to be more diplomatic, and we, the neocons in our country, they refuse to even talk to these people. We've bullied them, we've sanctioned them. Trump did have some sanctions on Russia and some sanctions on China, which ultimately cost him his presidency. But for the most part, Trump didn't have such an adversarial fight with Russia. And Trump was trying, as some people accuse him of weakening NATO, which is part of the reason why they ganged up on him to pull him out of office. Because Trump was saying, we're giving these European countries all this money, and they're not pulling their share, they're not footing the bill. And then look what just happened. America signed $40 billion over to Ukraine, no questions asked. No question that they didn't even allow us to argue it in Congress like they're arguing Roe versus Wade. And they just handed them $40 billion. That would have never happened if Trump was in office. So the thing about it is we're paying the price right now for the Biden administration. That's what, and Britney Griner was a fool to do what she did, but she should have never been there in the first place. The government should have said, no, all of our non-diplomatic personnel, we need to pull you back now.
Okay, so I have another question for you, but before I continue my question, we have Just Noticed. Just Noticed, did you want to add something to the conversation before I go on to my next question?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real short and sweet. Brittany Griner is not a hot chick, and they're not going to come and rescue her. They're not going to go risk going to war for a bull dagger. Respectfully, it's just
So you,
not happening.
so you think that plays a being that she's, because this is real serious, right? Her case, I mean, is real serious. This is Russia. This is America, right? So you really think that her looks play a factor, and it's like we're not going over there. Do you think if she was blonde, blue-eyed Becky, they'd care more? Like they're really leaving? You think that plays a factor? Like she's unattractive, she's a lesbian, not an attractive lesbian. We're done. Whatever, do whatever with her. You really think that plays a factor?
If it was yeah, I think it's definitely a factor. I
Mm-hmm.
think if that was I don't know if that was the old school Pam Anderson, we went to war. Never mind getting that job, they would have went to war. But because this is somehow, super tall, you know, I don't know, black chick with the with predator dreads, they're not going to go to war for that. They're not ready to risk uh uh you know losing everything for this chick. It's not going to happen that way. They would sooner have maybe a white male get out of there, or a white female, but not a black female.
So,
Even a black guy might get over it, because black women going to have it harder than even a black male.
so Tristan asked, I thought we did that already. Isn't Turkey a nuke state?
Yes, Turkey is a nuclear armed state, but they don't have the delivery mechanisms like many other countries. Just because you have a bomb doesn't mean you can actually launch it or drop it somewhere. So yes, Turkey does have nuclear weapons. So does Iran, according to our
But I thought,
spies.
but I thought
So
we gave them that though.
yeah, well, we've been putting missiles in Turkey. That was my point before. In order to end the Cuban Missile Crisis, John F. Kennedy had to take Jupiter missiles out of Turkey because we had missiles pointed at the Soviet Union. So the Soviet Union brought missiles to Cuba and pointed them at America. So we started this. That's my whole point. We basically started this.
Well, we started it once we all made NATO, which was the "F you Russia, you're not taking over the world" thing. So it's been tit for tat for decades. It is what it is. But I like the politics of it, where Russia will do all this to Ukraine, but America won't touch it because America's like, to listen, Russia ain't attack us, so we're not gonna go to war. Mind you, Russia's just gonna do all this other shit. Like, yeah, we're gonna pick on these guys because you're not gonna do nothing. Because if we do, we nuking everybody, and you nuking us, we nuking you. So it's my entertainment. That's literally my shtick. But I'm
So,
just boring like that.
And I just like to point out, Britney Griner is not the only American who is still being detained over in Russia. In fact, there's many
Yeah,
Americans who are being detained in Russia for
it's
whatever reason.
it's over 50, right?
It's over 50. Yeah. And the thing about it is, the only reason why they're talking about Griner is because she's an LGBT basketball player. But I think the key point that people need to take away from this is, just because you can get loud in America and get stuff done and get people released, that doesn't mean that any of that works overseas. China and Russia ain't having it. This is not a country that you can just bully. And this is not a country that will just bow to you and just do what you say. And after what America's done to Russia this year alone, Brittany, right? Jen, I don't think Brittany's going to see 10 years in prison. That's not going to happen.
you don't think
Chances
it's gonna
are,
be 10 because they're saying
no,
she's gonna
they'll
lose? It's gonna
they
be 10.
may convict her, possibly, but she's not going to be over there for 10 years. Chances are, when diplomatic relations cool, chances are she'll be brought home. I want you to look. Otto Warmbier came home from North Korea after getting trapped over there. Trump got Otto Warmbier out of North Korea, and he died when he got back here because he was sick from botulism poisoning. So they were going to keep that dude in there for life. But just by cooling down the diplomatic relations. That's enough to say, you know what? I'm really sorry. The last administration, they were pieces of shit, but you know what? I want to be a friend. I want to be a better, I want to have better diplomatic relations. And that in and of itself, they could trade 2 or 3 Russian hackers or something and get her back. But she's nothing but a bargaining chip at this point. And I just want all these LGBTs and all these The View watches. I want you to understand, y'all can scream and piss and moan and cry, but these other countries ain't America. They're not playing those games.
I agree, but we're missing the one thing. They don't care about Britney Griner. They want Snowden. And America is going to hold every Russian citizen until they get that man. That's the number one thing. They don't care about Britney Griner. They want Snowden. And that's been like that for what, almost 15 years now? No, I'm sorry. That's wrong.
Wait a minute. Edward Snowden is in Russia. I think you're talking about Julian Assange, and they don't want Julian Assange. Julian Assange is under arrest. Snowden went to hide out in Russia, and Russia has no extradition policy. So no, they don't want Snowden. They already have him.
No, I'm talking about America. I said America doesn't care about Britney Griner. They're not gonna really try to get her. They want, if they're gonna do any exchange, it's for Snowden.
Yeah, but they're not gonna budge. Snowden is in Russia. Britney Griner is in Russia. America ain't trading nothing for them. They got nothing to trade.
Listen, that's it. If they find a way to trade, that's the only person they want. They like Britney Griner, who? Oh, she's black and she's a basketball player. Oh well.
What's going to happen is Russia's going to say,
doesn't America have that Russian prisoner to trade?
No. Russia has Snowden there, who's living there, and Russia has Griner. America has locked up a couple of Russians who they claim were spies, and they claim that they were hackers and this, that, and the other. But those people are so low level that if Russia trades anything for Griner, Russia's going to tell America, the money that you're holding and you've got frozen, we want it back. And if you trade that, then we'll give you this big woman back.
They're gonna go for Snowden. Listen, if
America's not getting Snowden.
Exactly.
They're not getting Snowden.
They're not gonna budge on anybody else. I said, if you want this money, you know who we want.
Yeah, but America's losing this because Russia has the cards here. You got to understand, coming this winter, you're facing an oil, gas, and coal shortage in Europe. Europe may end up freezing their asses off because of all the oil and energy they've lost from Russia. Russia holds the cards right now, not America.
But that's the UK's fault for letting them pay off that debt. Now, Russia has no debt now. I said they did it. Timing is everything, basically.
Yeah, Russia's better chess players than America is, because I think Biden and them are asleep at the wheel, honestly.
He sleeps at the conferences. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
So what do you, this goes along with my next question. Omar Cruz says, nah, this is an isolated case of American entitlement. She disrespected a foreign country's law, so she's being made an example of. If Russia hasn't used the other 50 prisoners to negotiate, why would they use her to negotiate?
Because she's high level. She's higher visibility. Yeah, the other prisoner, you can't name a single other prisoner that they've got, but they do exist. The point is, you know who she is. So she's high visibility, and they're hoping that the public outrage will work against Biden, which it will, because the public is already outraged against Biden. You got all of these gay groups and all of these women who are saying, oh, yeah, well, Biden needs to get her out of there. He has no ability to get her out of there.
Exactly, and he can't do it because that messes up every negotiation with Ukraine. So he's stuck in a rock between a hard place, and Russia knows it, and Russia's like, we're gonna keep sending missiles. That's it. Do something about it.
Yeah. So America, it's usual. They're pulling out their picket forks and their picket signs, and they're like, we get things done when we march and yell. And Biden's like, I can't do shit about that. And
exactly.
We know you can't do shit about that, so we're just keeping her. So are they keeping her because she broke the law, or are they still keeping her as a political pawn?
Political pawn.
It's political pawn because she's the biggest basketball player there. So that's one thing for a fact. Like it's not really a loss for Russia. If they keep her, she's gonna play basketball.
You know who should have gone to Russia? Bill Cosby and R. Kelly. Because if they had been in Russia right now, Russia would be holding them, treating them like kings. And right now, they would not be locked up at all. Not Bill Cosby, but R. Kelly. R. Kelly should have escaped to. Look at Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson went to Iran after he got out of America, out of that case. Went to Iran. They treated him like a king. He was living in Iran. He was nice and comfortable. As soon as he came back here, he was killed.
I would like to introduce a little.
What? Here's my thing with drug addicts. Drug addicts die all the time. He moved his drug dealer into his home. You don't think after a while that frail little man?
Oh, he was looking. You're right about that, but he was very healthy while he was in Iran. He wasn't dead.
Well, he didn't have a whole drug dealer, intravenously,
And in fact, look at Edward Snowden. America right now is doing so many unconstitutional things, like Assange and Snowden. The Congress is not supposed to pass any law for publishing information. They released that information about Hillary. Hillary lost that election, and now they've come back with a vengeance to try to arrest these people, detain these people, and probably try to execute these people, just like they did to that Jewish guy in prison who they claim killed himself, Epstein. So the simple thing is, Snowden did the smart thing. Snowden said, yo, I got to go to a country that's not going to extradite me to America under any circumstances. So he went to Russia. Snowden is living over there chilling. If he had gone to China, it would have been the same thing. He'd be living over there chilling. No problem. The second they get you back to America, you're dead.
So in a nutshell, you think she will be convicted, but she won't do the 10.
She won't do the whole 10, no.
She's too big of a basketball star over there. Like, she's an actual star over there. So she'll get convicted, but then like this, either you stay in jail and you come out to play, or you stay in jail.
With this political climate, if I was Donald Trump and I was running in 2024, the first two things I would do is promise to release anybody who was arrested in connection with January 6th. And second of all, I'd go over there, talk to Putin, and come back here with Britney on my plane, and he'd win hands down, and the Democrats would be done.
That's a great campaign. I brought Britney.
Of course. Yes, I should write a letter to Trump, and because you see how bad it's gotten. They're trying to lie on him. They're trying to be, oh yeah, he was trying to steer the car off the road and all this bullshit. And the woman
won. They gave him the W for the Roe v. Wade.
Well, that was just the Supreme Court who's winning all these cases, because the Supreme Court's overturning everything that these liberals put through.
But you know what Trump does? He took that rally and said, "That was me. Thank you."
Yeah, if Trump runs, you're going to see the biggest political upheaval you've ever seen in the history of this country.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think January 6th was a they knew it was gonna happen, and they were like, nah, we're just gonna not do it, and then give him an impeachment so he can't run again. Because there's no way. It's Washington D.C. I said I've been there. There are snipers at the train station. You mean to tell me nobody's at Congress?
First of all, no. First of all, listen. I had a sister who got sworn in at the Supreme Court building. It's directly across the street from the Congress. There are no snipers stationed on the top of the congressional building. The snipers you're thinking about are on top of the White House. And furthermore, they would never open fire on the crowd. They would just rush the president somewhere else. They would never open fire on the crowd, because that would be a bloodbath for the history books. They would never do that. And that's exactly why they didn't do it this time. So it's actually surprising that white girl got shot by that black cop who actually bothered to shoot her when she tried to get through that window, because they weren't expecting that to happen. And it did happen.
And you know what you said? You said this time. You know it's going to be a bloodbath next time.
Well, you better hope there ain't no next time. Otherwise, you're going to be in the history books.
I'm not. Why would I be there? Listen, I'm going to sit down on my couch and just listen. You go, white man.
Just so we're clear, right? Because I know I'm not clear on cannabis, hashish. I don't do drugs, so I don't know the difference. But Big Trucker, you said hashish. What is the difference between cannabis, vape, and hashish?
Okay, her vape had what's called hashish oil, right?
Okay.
As far as Russia is concerned, any derivatives, anything related to cannabis, because this is called a cannabinoid, right? If it's related to recreational or medicinal marijuana, it is automatically illegal. There are two main, well, there's a couple of drugs, but the main drugs that they are completely against is methamphetamine with meth. They're against opioids of any kind, and they're against weed, marijuana, because I guess they've seen marijuana take off in America as a political tool. They're not going to let that happen there, them or China. So while Americans are able to smoke that stuff here, you go to one of these countries, especially Southeast Asia, you get locked up, and if you're lucky, they don't execute you. If you're lucky.
Was it medicinal? Like, was she like, oh, it's for my cataracts and my
I'm sure she'll say it was, but the bottom line is medicinal and recreational are illegal. So if they tell you that the stuff is illegal and you're sneaking it in, well, I got news for you. You're going to be in jail. I'm sorry. That's just what it is. They told you it's illegal.
But she got through the airport here, which is not hard to do, because after
exactly.
people were caught with guns and knives and all kinds of shit.
And that's why I started off by saying that, as far as I'm concerned, that was a huge failure that they allowed her to get through the airport with that stuff. But you also have to wonder, how much scrutiny are you going through when you're like one of these basketball stars? They're not going to treat you like a terrorist. If it, like the last time I went flying, I went to Dubai and I went to Maldives. If you go in business class or first class, you get rushed through the lines. You get to the faster screening. You go through a smaller scanner. They don't scan you as hard. They don't even make you take off as much of your clothing.
I've seen them do it with Colin Farrell. I've seen them do it with Waka Flocka Flame. Like, I've seen them, like, the celebrity go right through.
A lot of celebrities have tried to sneak guns through, just like Martin Lawrence. He's tried to sneak guns through on the plane. And if you got caught bringing a gun into one of these other countries, you're done. But the thing about it is, a lot of these people tried to do it. And it's like, what do you think is going to happen to you? But see, the real mistake was she did this right when America started sanctioning Russia. And had that not happened, had this Ukraine war not happened, maybe they would have just expelled her and sent her back. But she picked just the wrong time to mess up.
Jabari says international flights in countries like Russia are a lot different, though. And 100% correct. So at the
this is nothing but distraction. This is nothing but a distraction from the fact that they had arrested that criminal, that heinous fiend, Maxine Gladwell, what her name is?
Ghislaine. Her name is Ghislaine.
Ghislaine. Yeah. This is what they're making about this. There's not a lot of media attention on that particular case. They just got 20 years when she should have got 120 years for all the stuff that she was doing, which was sex trafficking children. I don't know how
you think Britney Griner is a distraction for Ghislaine Maxwell?
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't think that's a big story? She's an American locked up in Russia.
I disagree.
It's a big story, but it's not a bigger story to me, in my opinion, than Maxine, who was sex trafficking these young children to princes and other people in foreign countries, and there was no information let out about who those people were. So I feel like that this Britney Griner case is just a distraction to distract you from this fiend and heinous human being, Maxine Gladwell, or what her name is.
Ghislaine. But if I was to agree with you about distractions, I would say the real distraction is what's happening regarding the Supreme Court right now, because the Democrats are desperate to get their points up because they know that they're going to get destroyed in November. So with the Supreme Court justices coming out and basically ruling against the liberals, that's more of a distraction than Britney Griner or this, that, and other. Because you got to understand, the Biden administration is trying to pin the blame for a bad economy and high gas prices. He's trying to pin it on Russia. Now, as far as this basketball player goes, if he could say, oh, yeah, you see Russia's being more evil, that's just trying to get more points for him on the domestic front. But the domestic front is disgusted with the Biden and Harris administration because as they've seen, the energy costs have gone up, the economy's gone to shit. So I would say, no, the real distraction is actually what's going on with the Supreme Court. Most people don't give a goddamn about Ghislaine. They forgot she's even in there. Nobody cares about none of that. There's very few people care.
That's what I wanted to touch on too. When people say there's a distraction, so you don't pay attention to Weinstein or you don't pay attention to Ghislaine Maxwell, it's because nobody actually pays attention. No one's rotating her. Nobody's rotating her on social media. Nobody's reposting her. But if it's R. Kelly, everybody's like, well, we love R. Kelly and we love Bill Cosby, and everybody keeps rotating them. So it's actually us that has the control over what's the distraction, in my opinion. With the power of social media, we're the ones that add the distractions, not the media per se, because we're constantly reposting. Who's post? I've seen almost 12, 13 documentaries on Harvey Weinstein. I asked the average person that's always saying, well, what about Weinstein? And they haven't even seen one.
Well, my thing is that with Twitter and those algorithms, they're definitely built on regions as well. First off, so the Maxine thing is going on in the UK. That's not gonna come over here in Twitter space, like it, because we're in America. If we're in the UK, it's probably viral over there, possibly. But
viral where? The UK? No,
but I'm just saying, like, these algorithms are definitely built on regions first, and then like it has to be like big, right? It has to be Will Smith slapping Chris Rock big for it to be globally viral, right? So a boring court case is probably going to be big or kind of trending in the UK. It's not going to come over here. Her case is in the UK. That's why over here we'll see what's the R. Kelly going to jail. That's going to be viral here. It's going to go by that. That's how it's going to go.
Let me just read a real quick list of the things that are trending now. Lena Headey, she's from Game of Thrones. She's Cersei from Game of Thrones. KQRS Morning Show, Bong Bong Marcos, Pittsburgh Steelers, AARP Insurance, Cara Delevingne, Home Warranty Plans, Order Management, Randall Emmett, and Tina Peters. Not a single one of those is Ghislaine Maxwell. Not a single one of those is Britney Griner. Because for the most part, everybody's more worried about like Roe versus Wade and stuff. They don't care about these two people. They're just using it as a political thing.
Yeah, and on mine,
we care about
mine it says, and on mine it says Technoblade. Cam Newton is trending for some reason. I don't know. He's not playing anymore. Soccer. It's built on people's customizations. So don't.
Well, it's really who's typing in specific search topics. Ghislaine Maxwell ain't one of them. It's just that simple.
Exactly. Like who cares about the mistress? She got 20 years. Epstein's dead. It's over.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Well, Jabari said she's supposed to name names. Is that true?
Yeah. Until you mean to tell me they've had her all this time and no names have been named? Really? If I was her, I'd have been writing the names on the cell wall. If I was her, by now I'd have written a damn book while I was sitting. Do you know how long she's been arrested? She's been in there since before COVID.
That's true.
You know, if I was her, I would have been scratching names into the walls.
Trucker, I had a question, but you weren't here yesterday. But I'm pretty sure you answered this, right?
All right.
R. Kelly got 30 years, and that Maxine lady got 20 years. Normal people are getting 100 years to 200 minimum. You know they told, right? Is that I'm assuming they told on somebody.
Well, I'm pretty sure they probably did, but the thing about it is you're not going to see any high-level arrests. They're not going after princes and kings and stuff. It's not happening. It's not happening. See, they killing off Epstein. I swear to God, if the government had put Epstein in my care and I had enough technology to make sure nobody could kill him, he'd still be alive. They set him up and they killed him off. And if they didn't kill him, they told him to kill himself.
What you
And
mean?
and
You slide me
what?
$1 million. Listen, I'm turning them cameras off.
No,
I'm
listen,
turning them
listen.
off.
If you give me
I'm
enough,
hopping in my car and I'm like telling my wife, "Yo, pack
I
your stuff.
man,
We going
let
on
me tell you,
vacation."
I would have had I would have had, just like I said, she could have written them names on the walls. I would have done a private interview with him because I've been like, listen, they coming to get you. If you tell me everything right now, I'm gonna put it on this tape. Let me tell you something. They set that dude up and they killed that dude off. And as far as they were concerned, the hole was plugged. But just to make it look like it went deeper, that's when they go after this woman. Because there had to have been others. How many
Mike,
others people got arrested? None.
Well, Michael Baden said it wasn't suicide, and I trust him. So yeah, it was not suicide.
If you're in a maximum security prison and you commit suicide, chances are somebody watched you do it. It's
man,
like, come on, it's ridiculous.
like trucker, you saying the wrong things. You recording the wrong thing. You should have said, "Listen, give me the routing and the account number, right? And
Yeah,
you
right.
put this on this
So
paper."
you mean to tell me you're going to kill this guy off for $1 million? My number's 10. I would have had $10 million before this guy goes.
No, I'm talking about his account number because he got billions. I'm walking away with everything. I'm
They
like,
would have
I'll
had to
get your
get
story out, sir, and you'll
they.
never see
Let
me
me tell you
again.
something. For me to have him off, they would have had to give me like 10 million in cash.
That's true.
So
And for
That's
10,
Japan said, naming name Clinton, Prince, Andrew, Bill Gates. Prince Andrew, I know about. Clinton, I know about. I didn't know about Bill Gates.
I doubt Bill Gates doesn't. Bill Gates looks like he still doesn't know what sex looks like.
But
I'm sorry.
his wife said that they had a relationship that she wasn't comfortable with. That Bill Gates had a relationship with Epstein that she wasn't comfortable with.
But that's those are always those exclusive weirdos. Like it's one of those.
Money things.
Yeah, it's like they
isn't it
do weird
amazing?
shit. When you got too much time, you do weird shit. You
Guys,
know.
isn't it amazing how she was sentenced to 20 years? How many of you saw any of the court footage whatsoever? Had she been a black rapper or something, she would have been on court she'd have been on court TV every single day. Who was the last person?
Yo, they
Who
show
was
them
it?
old ass drawings.
Cosby.
I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, it's like, listen, if they wanted you to hear any of it, if it wasn't a setup, then you would have seen this on court TV. They didn't give you anything. And they know people would have watched. A couple would have watched at least.
When it's
But nah,
something
They
listen.
serious that can
they're
shake
gonna
the
they're
world,
gonna they're
they be
gonna get
quiet.
her out like they did Epstein. Epstein's not dead. Epstein was a Mossad agent. He's down with the Israelis over there. He's not dead. And they're
No,
gonna do the same thing.
he's
They're gonna
worm.
do the same thing.
Epstein's gone.
Epstein's, I'm
No,
pretty sure the guy's
that
dead.
was a prosthetic. That was a
He's
prosthetic they
too
did
much of
that.
a liability. I would have killed Epstein if I was connected. Like you're not gonna snitch
Yeah,
me out. So I
but
can imagine another billionaire. They were probably
yeah,
like,
but
time for him to go.
R. Kelly didn't kill himself.
no, he didn't. But listen, you got to think about this, right? When they said he allegedly killed himself, they had pictures of his body, like his face, like his mouth open dead, out in like the regular newspapers. They don't do that for like regular people. Why would they do that for him? You know what I'm saying? So it's like they
It's
try to.
regular.
No, because they want the public to see something that proves their side of the story. If they're going to claim he's dead so that you walk away with an image in your mind, they're going to release something to make you believe from now until forever that he's dead. You remember when Osama bin Laden got killed and we were waiting to see a death photo and then somebody put together a Photoshop and the people were circulating that shit. They're like, yeah, this is him. He got shot in the face. And then you find out, wait a minute, this is a Photoshop, but you still remember that picture, don't you?
Yes, we do.
You still remember that picture.
Yes, we do. So someone said that they think the 4 months that she already served is enough and she should be able to get out after that. What do you think about that? Like time served, send her home. Is it going to happen? She goes on trial tomorrow.
You can't tell a country how to run their laws. That, to be honest, that's how. Like we can sit there and say 10 days should be enough, and Russia's like this. Who are you? That's what they're gonna say. Like, excuse me, this is Russia. I said we take this serious, and she's not a Russian billionaire, so we're locking her ass up. It's you can't tell another country how to run their laws. So it's we know it's excessive, but to Russia, they're like, we rule with an iron fist here. I said, one and done.
So the reason I don't know, I think people should worry about it because according to her wife, they can't even she's not even able to make phone calls. So she says she hasn't heard her voice since they locked her up.
Yep.
She's been able to write letters, and the letters, her wife is saying that Britney is saying, I'm okay. I'm not going to let them break me. I'll break down when I come home, but I'm not going to let them break me. So her wife is basically translating that as, I know her. She's terrified. She's scared. She's not good in there. I think she's someone that would commit suicide if they give her any type of years out there. She doesn't, I mean, she looked like deer in the headlights in the video when they were escorting her. She doesn't look safe.
Russia's not going to kill her, and I doubt that she's going to kill herself because I'm fairly certain she believes that eventually she'll get out. But all she has to do is keep on persevering. But yeah, a Russian prison isn't someplace you want to be. It's just that simple.
Wasn't it that like a thing where they used to like if like certain criminals where their cell was in suspense, like suspended in midair or some shit?
They don't do that. You're thinking about the movies. That doesn't happen in Russia.
Listen.
In Russia, if you get put in a bad prison, it was called a gulag, and they send you to Siberia. They'd send you to Siberia. It's cold. They would have people working in order to make roads in freezing cold, and most of the prisoners would die just trying to make the road going to Upper Siberia. So no,
if you got
that's not going to happen.
Survive, okay?
Listen, that's not.
Jabari, I heard about that, but come on, 4 months, one phone call in 4 months.
But America and Russia don't have the same rules. In Russia, if you get locked up, that's it. It's like there's no right. We have rights to phone calls simply because we have, I believe it's the 6th, 7th, and 8th Amendment. And those are what give you your rights as prisoners to not be tortured under the 8th Amendment. And the bottom line is Russia ain't got that. It's like you pick the worst possible country you could pick to be locked up in.
Sandra Bland made dozens of phone calls. So I know it's different out here. Dozens.
Man, that's crazy.
All I know is where is Steven Seagal?
Steven Seagal can't do shit, man. That guy can't even make any movies no more.
That was Putin's man. Even before Trump.
Steven Seagal was living there. He was nice and quiet. Everybody respected him because of those movies he made. But that's about it. Steven Seagal can't do nothing.
They should send Steven Seagal there as a diplomat.
Trump. They need to get listen. They need to send Trump. Need to fly that Trump plane over there, and he needs to get her back and say, "Hey, folks, yeah, you see, I got her back. Your President Biden couldn't do that. He stole the election. Vote for me in 2024." Yo, listen.
He partied with Lil Wayne, and I don't see why he wouldn't go out and get Britney.
If I was Trump and I wanted to secure the black vote, oh man, it would be so easy. It'd be like, yeah, you just let out a couple of key people. Get this chick out of prison in Russia, and that's it, man. You'd win the black vote easy.
He won it in Florida because of that black kid.
The black vote and the gay vote. So Jabari, I think, is more thinking when play stupid games, play stupid prizes, because he's saying, why get her out? She's in trouble for drugs.
Because she's a celebrity, that's why.
Man, listen. Just give me money and I'll do my best I'll come over there. Just give me I'll take a vacation. I'll go over there like this. Brittany, you okay?
And you'll never come back.
Listen, that's the plan. I'm not. I said I think people just need to realize when you do crime, you're supposed to go to jail.
Yeah, thank you. I agree. See, in America, we've forgotten. We were letting out prisoners all through the pandemic. You get caught with guns and shit, they let you out. You get caught after suspect murder, they let you out. Oh yeah, just come back for your trial later on. That's crazy. That's crazy. Only in this country are our laws so weak that people think that they could just get out of it by getting loud and screaming racism. It doesn't work that way in the rest of the world. It just doesn't work.
Wait. I need that to work for me, okay? So listen. I'm gonna play. Okay. I will throw that race card in there so fast. I'm like, listen. Oh, because I'm black? Listen, it works every time. and
No,
they'll walk away.
they should say that to Putin, and he'd be like, "No, it's because you're black, you're gay, and you're huge."
Oh no, he'll disrespect the shit out of me. I
She
know
is
that for a
huge.
fact.
She's like taller than everybody.
I'm 6 foot. I'm 6'6", and I walk around like Godzilla. This chick is 6'9". Like, what is that? I saw it when you did. You see them with her in cuffs? She was walking around. Man, that shit looked like one of the X-Men when they were when they captured him.
I'm like, are those shackles? I'm like, I'm like, no way she's that big. But I'm like, wait, I think she is that big.
She's 6'9", bro.
Okay,
She's
so
6'9".
welcome, Jabari, to the panel. We haven't seen you in a while. I know you wanted to add something. And Big Truck, we got a question for you. What do you feel about Griner being a Black Lives Matter follower, a lesbian, and Downs America? Oh,
Down syndrome? Downs? What's that?
Do you, Joanna, do you mean like talks bad about America? I think she means talks bad because Downs.
Oh, well, bottom line is, as an American, her First Amendment right gives her, if she wants to talk bad about America, I ain't got no problem with that. That's her First Amendment right. As far as being a Black Lives Matter follower, most, I would say, Black lesbians in some way are. In fact, the founders of it are Black lesbian women.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm not down with Black Lives Matter because I always knew that it was a media scam. I always knew it. As far as her being a lesbian, listen, I'm not like she's like freaking like 3 or 4 inches taller than I am. I ain't chasing after her. So if she wants to be a lesbian, that's her right. The bottom line is she went to a country, she broke the law. And that's the bottom line. Now, I'd like to see Russia, out of kindness, give her back and maybe some of the other prisoners there. But considering what we've done to them in the last couple of months, I doubt that's going to happen.
Jabari, what say you?
Jabari.
He probably walked away because, Trucker is long-winded. So he probably thought he had time.
Joanna said, yes, she talks bad about America. Joanna, can you elaborate? What did she say?
Yeah, well, that's your right. That's your right. If you want to badmouth America, that's your right. Jabari says he's muted.
On my end. You're not muted on my end.
If you want to talk bad about America, that's your right.
I would just try to refresh, Jabari. I'm sorry, Trucker.
Try now, Jabari.
Press F5.
Yeah, because I didn't mute you. You're not muted on my end.
Yeah, he may have to go through the settings in StreamYard.
He may just have to refresh.
Yeah, but no, listen. If she talks bad about America, that's her right. That's her First Amendment. That's her constitutional right. I ain't got no problem with that.
Let me throw the link down again.
But that's what America was built on.
Exactly.
I said it was built on. Okay, we have ideas. Let's put it legally on paper and let's see what's up. I said, this has been the greatest experiment in history.
That is our First Amendment right. But do you think behind the scenes it would affect her with anyone in America wanting to help? Like politically. I'm not talking about the people with the picket signs and, I'm talking about in the government. Like, fuck that bitch. She's talking about.
They can't do that because imagine all the shit Obama got. Imagine if he sit there and said, I'm not helping that white man because he called me the N-word. I said, a president cannot do that. All public officials cannot do that. You have to do. You're a doctor. You have to do your job. Mm-hmm. So she can sit there spitting all them congressmen's faces. They asses better get her out. That's your job. It's to help international relations.
Our international relations are so bad with Russia right now that it's like Biden, whether he wants her out or not, there's nothing he could do about it. There's just nothing he could do.
What do you think
my favorite politician?
In general, do you think that America should fight to get her out?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. But you know what? Is she any better than the other prisoners that are in Russia right now? Now, if the best thing that could happen is Russia give us their prisoners that are ours, and we give them their prisoners that we have here, and we just do a full prisoner exchange. But that's not going to happen. That's why these are political prisoners, and they're being used as trading points.
Wait, but usually when that happens, doesn't the embassy get involved, their lawyers? So
Well,
is she a
it's
citizen
beyond
or
that.
under a visa?
Embassies and consulates usually are involved on lower levels. Like if you're a nobody and you go over to Russia and you get arrested on like prostitution or something, this is different because it's a higher visibility person. So the embassy at this point, first of all, because of this Ukraine-Russia thing, we recalled our diplomats, which is what we should have done with her. We should have told all of them, nah, this is not the place you want to be right now. Y'all need to leave. But we
I
dropped
got
the
that
ball.
feeling they did, and she just didn't listen.
Can you guys hear me now?
I don't think so,
Yes,
because
very.
America could have canceled her visa.
That's true.
I don't think this happened in February.
Right.
First of all, I apologize for interrupting. I was seeing if my mic was working. I had to jump on with my phone instead of my computer.
No worries.
Yeah, I think it was Tristan that said something earlier. We're not used to people having consequences for their actions. I think that's what, like, all of this conversation, we've lost the fact that you took hash in somebody else's country, and you took hash in a country that has zero tolerance for drugs. Like, we can't stress that enough. Like, in most of the world, things that we consider, no big deal is a huge deal. Like, we forget that they caned the hell out of a kid for graffiti. He got 5 lashes with that cane for graffiti. Like, things that we don't consider serious, other people do. And that's why they don't have the problems we have. And that's why Russia won't have the drug problem that we have. That's why China won't have the drug problem that we have. That's why they don't have the murder problems that we have. Because if you mess up on Monday, you go on trial on Wednesday, and they execute your ass Wednesday night. And they send the bill to your family for it Thursday morning. And if your family can't pay, your family is in a labor camp working off the debt. I mean,
That's how it is now, or are you exaggerating?
No, that's China. That's how China is. China's like that right now. China's like that right now.
I lived in China, and the way it works is you get like a trial that might last 2 hours, but if you're found guilty, soldiers take you out into a field and they put rifles up to the back of your head, and they ask you to open your mouth because they don't want the bullets ricocheting off your teeth, and then they blow the back of your head off, and then they send your family the bill for the bullet.
And for the executioners. And it's real.
Are we talking 2022?
Yes.
That's now, yes. That's now.
She got lucky. Imagine if this was in Dubai.
No, Dubai wouldn't. No.
Well,
Dubai would have expelled her.
No, what's the other country that doesn't do the?
She wouldn't have pulled that in Saudi Arabia.
Well, Saudi Arabia is a little bit more progressive nowadays, but yeah, she would have gotten caned or beaten or something like that. But chances are she would have gotten expelled. Some of the Southeast Asian countries will execute.
Oh yeah, those are the worst.
Most of them will just beat the shit out of you, like Singapore, and they'll beat you and then they'll expel you.
Even if you're American.
Even if you're American.
But drugs are like a different thing. Like, I can't stress enough that it was drugs, everybody. Like I can't stress enough what a big deal that is. Like, if you look up where they send drug convicts in Russia. Like, take a second when you get a chance, like not right now, and look up where they send drug. Like, you go to Siberia. Yep. Like, people don't understand. Prisons in Siberia, a lot of them don't even have walls. Like, you're just in the middle of nowhere, and there's like woods, and it's like negative 20 degrees in the summertime. Yep. And they're like bears, not like the nice, not Yogi, but like bears that aren't afraid of us and will eat your ass in those woods. Like, they don't mess around about this stuff. And there's no defense for her, because before you go over there, they tell you that. Like, they tell you the things that, like, you don't mess around with this, and this. Truckers traveled. He knows. Before you go to these countries, they will tell you, hey, don't mess around with this, and this. Yep. Because different countries have different things they have no tolerance about.
That's why I don't understand understand why she did it. That's why I don't understand. Was it arrogance?
Yes.
I'm scared to death.
American arrogance.
How did she
American arrogance.
Well, I want you to also remember those black NBA players who went to China and were caught stealing. I think Alonzo Ball or something like that. I can't remember the name. I had pulled it up.
Was
And
them
they got
UCLA
caught
kids?
stealing in China. Yeah, well, yeah, you
Remember what it took to get them out, though.
Yeah,
Oh,
and that,
they moved heaven and earth.
and
Yeah.
remember, we were not at war. We were not in a proxy war with
Exactly.
China at the time. So China was like, you know what? Just take your people and get the hell out. Honestly, hashish oil, this is not like if she got caught smuggling like pounds of marijuana in. I would have expelled her and left it at that. But no,
That's
when
not what
America
Russia
went
does.
after their money, Russia said, no, we're going to get you back. That's how it happened.
They weren't going to expel her for that. I'm telling you. Yeah, like you can look up Russian case law. You can look at cases of Americans that have been involved with drugs in Russia,
Right.
in Asia. They don't expel you in Asia,
I
they
understand.
don't. They throw you in jail.
I understand what you're saying, but again, you have to understand the decision can be made unilaterally by Putin. If he says, you know what, we don't need her. We don't need her here. Expel her. You can't come back, right? He could snap his fingers and just do that. What he's choosing to do instead is keep her there and put her on a show trial. So he could easily end this whole thing and just expel her. All he has to do is just basically make a phone call and that's it. But he's keeping her on a show trial because he's making fun of the American system and he's basically showing Biden ain't nothing you can do about it.
And we're in a litigious world, and Biden cannot.
So all of these women on The View and all of these lesbians and everything in an uproar, guess what? They ain't nothing. You can scream to the heavens.
Sharpton is out there too now. Sharpton's out there. Tamika Mallory.
Sharpton, Karen Hunter, Rachel Maddow, all them lesbians on television. They can scream to the high heavens. But guess what?
Russia doesn't allow that either.
Vladimir Putin is in charge. He's the man. And
Russia
right now,
they're in the wrong country for that lesbianism too. They are a that's the way they label themselves. They are a pro-family country. And her sexual proclivities, shall we say, were ignored by the government of Russia. But Russia has a very we don't respect other people's laws and norms. We don't. And I've been to a lot of different countries and I've seen Americans get out of line. I've seen people get jammed up. And you better have a good connect with the embassy. I mean, that's just real. Like, you better have great political connections, or you better be from a family with, at the very least, hundreds of millions of dollars, or you about to be for real jammed up. Like, we don't respect other people's norms. We go in, we don't respect their language, we don't respect their culture, and the whole Britney Griner thing, like, the sanctions came after she got in trouble. Like Biden was on some, like, let's not forget the timeline. Biden was on some, as long as it's a limited incursion, we ain't gonna do nothing. Early on. So Russia was on some weak stuff anyway. This wasn't a flex on their part, especially early on. This was who do you think you are bringing drugs into our country?
That's how I saw it though. Like,
that's really what this was. Who do you think you are bringing drugs into our country?
Yeah, I didn't see it like we're gonna use her against you.
No,
I think they took it like major disrespect. Like, you're like, America already disrespecting us, and you're gonna come in here with this. I'm like, people are very prideful of their country. I get we're American and we do our shit talking, blah blah.
But once again, guys, it was oil. It was for personal use, not for sale. She wasn't planning on selling it. I understand that it's illegal to use recreational or medicinal marijuana in Russia of any kind. I understand that. My point is, this is political. It's not just as simple as, oh, you're just a regular pothead and we're just going to kick you out. No, they invaded Ukraine on the 24th. I believe she was arrested like the 18th. They arrested her. Had it not been for this invasion, had it not been for the sanctions, chances are she would have already been back because it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. Had she been arrested with, well, I mean, we can agree to disagree, but I really believe she is a political prisoner. They could have expelled her if they wanted to. They still could, but they're not going to do that because they're putting their thumb in their eye in Biden's face. It's just that simple.
This how she'll get out of it, right? She just go to Putin, right? Like, yo, my man, yo, you reduce my sentence, I'll play for y'all in the next Olympics. I'll get you a gold. If I don't get you a gold, right. I'll serve the rest of my sentence. I guarantee you he'll take that deal.
But
well, actually, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
He'll take that deal.
That wouldn't be a bad idea for punishment. You make her play basketball to get out. Like, could you imagine that? Like you
have to win us gold. Like,
yeah, you have to be free. You have to play basketball and you have to beat like a bunch of teams or something in order to get out.
What I find interesting is that they're so anti-gay, just for lack of a more intricate word, just anti-gay, and she's very gay.
Like all those countries are anti-gay. Their numbers are declining. They have a big problem with an aging population. Like you see how we have Generation Z here, and we got millennials. Russia doesn't really have that. They have a huge population gap, and right now their numbers are on the decline. So anti-gayness is basically them saying, listen, we need you people out here having sex and having children, and this gay shit is a waste of time. You know? So that's just what it is.
You know, another aspect of this that another American was arrested for drug smuggling in January.
In Russia?
In Russia. Mm-hmm. And an American was arrested for drug smuggling in Russia in November of last year. And another American was arrested for drug smuggling earlier, even during damn COVID. So these people are looking at, you think about, you're dealing with a country who does not have our drug problem by any stretch of the imagination. Mm-hmm. And you see these Americans keep bringing drugs into their country. I mean, the other people were smugglers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't no, this my weed. You know, they were smugglers. But the fact is, if somebody keeps poking you, that last person that pokes you probably didn't poke you as hard as everybody else. But they gonna get the haymaker. That last person, whoever it is, that straw that breaks the camel's back is the one that gets the club over the head. And the other smugglers, they didn't get any publicity, but they all got sentenced to like 10 years, 9 years in Siberia, hard labor. The little white dude that was smuggling in January. See, and this tells you how she is getting more benefit of the doubt than most people. Because the little white boy that got caught smuggling in January, he got sentenced like in March. Like had his trial, got sentenced. He's in Siberia right now.
Ouch.
You know what I'm saying? Like, she is getting grace. The other dude did not get a phone call at all the whole time. Wow. Like, the embassy had to go see him. Like, he didn't get the call home. He had to send letters through the embassy when they came, through the Red Cross. Like, she's getting the equivalent, as much as celebrity treatment as you can get in Russia. But Russia just don't play that. Like, Asian countries have no tolerance, especially for foreigners bringing drugs into their country. And I mean, I don't blame them. I don't blame them.
Somebody coming to your home and bringing drugs into your home. Yeah. Wow.
No, I agree with all that. The only reason why she's getting this much publicity is because she's a basketball player and because she's a lesbian and because she's black.
You have to
black lesbian basketball.
Man, she's getting this love because he's a basketball player. He's a basketball player. If she was not a basketball player, she would already be in Siberia too.
You know, but
That's
I don't know.
the joke,
I don't
but
know.
Russia
I don't
just
know
don't
how
play.
this
They
ends.
don't play that drug game, man. I mean, I don't. I wish. I mean, I feel bad for her, like her wife, her family, but like
See, but
10
that's
years,
the thing.
bro.
How can you feel bad when she did the crime?
Like I said, I feel bad for her family the same way I feel bad for any criminal's family that wasn't involved, who has to deal with the loss of a loved one, who has to deal with the loss of income, who has to deal with, and then this isn't even like you go into an American prison where they can come visit you. Like there is no visitation in these rough, like the Russian prisons. If you have good behavior, like in your second year, there's like one day that people can fly all the way out to Siberia and come and visit you. Who taking that trip?
Nobody.
Right.
Nobody. Not
Right.
the Russia.
I got to study.
So
And you got to remember, Russia ain't even going to let you fly over there right
exactly
now.
right.
They've been at war for 6 months in Ukraine, and America's still sending weapons to Ukraine.
Exactly.
It's like when you've got that kind of diplomatic relation, it's like you're stuck. You're done.
Yeah, she gonna do all 10. If they give her 8 years, and it ain't like U.S. jail, this is worse than fair time. This is worse than fair time because if you don't have good, whereas in our jail system, if you have good behavior, you get out early. With theirs, if you have good behavior, you get out on time.
If she ever gets out, she's gonna be straight.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she's gonna be real straight when she gets out.
That's terrible.
I mean, it's just. I mean, he kicking knowledge.
Welcome, Late Night with 777. What do you have to add before I ask the gentleman one final question?
Yeah, salute to the show. I've been in the bushes for going on a year now. Jen, thank you for having me up here.
Okay.
So first of all, good show. I love everyone's opinion and everything like that.
Thank you.
Now the question I have for you is, if you don't mind, to these young people that are starting a channel on YouTube. Now I've had my channel up for a couple of days, so I'm like brand new.
Mm-hmm.
Not to get off topic here, but what advice do you have for the younger generation that is trying to start a channel? Can you please talk to the younger generation?
Can I answer that one? Or do you
No, sir. I'm asking Jen. Thank you, respectfully.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. What as the largest
Please, I'm asking
YouTuber
Jen,
here?
sir. Thank you.
I'm sorry,
No,
as the
I don't
largest
wanna-
YouTuber
please,
here, I
no,
just
I don't
wanted
care
to
if
say
you're the
something.
largest
Go ahead,
YouTuber,
go
sir.
ahead, Jen.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
I'm asking
go
the
ahead,
host.
Jen. I'll try to
I'm
go
asking
right
the
after
host.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice.
Asking the host.
I would say I would have to say first and foremost, study branding and have something that stands out of the crowd. I think everybody is doing the same thing. I tell people all the time, I don't care if it's you always wear a color or you always wear a certain hat or your background is a certain way. I'm not big on niches. Like some people are like, oh, I'm only going to talk about water bottles. I'm only going to talk about, I think you could do a variety of things, but I think branding is super, super important. And no one thinks about branding. They just think I'm going to come on here and
Right.
And I always say an easy way to know if you're a brand is, can someone imitate you? And if somebody imitated you, like mimicked you, right? Like just copied you, what would they do? Right. So if
they would swear a lot, for me, they would swear a lot. They would be kind of rude and disrespectful and possibly a little vulgar. I'm Italian and Jewish.
Everybody's doing that on YouTube. Everybody's swearing and everybody's, coming at you. Aside from that, you need something to stand out.
I mean, I could, I could recite poetry. Would you like a quick poem before I get out of here? My wife's about to come home, so I don't want her to see, me talking to you up here.
No, unless you have something on Britney Griner, I'm gonna go.
Britney Griner is she's the Olympic gold medalist, right?
No.
Is she the
She did win a gold medal, didn't she?
Did she win a gold medal?
Yeah, she's won a gold medal. She may have won 2.
Basketball player. She's the basketball player that got locked up in Russia. Do you have something on her?
So did she win a gold medal though?
Yeah, I think she's won 2.
For being a lesbian.
Thank you, Jay Bryant. So, Big Truck, obviously you don't do your research before you get on a panel, correct, sir?
Yeah, late night. You're not any good at this, so maybe you should make your YouTube numbers by arguing with people who are just stronger and bigger than you. So,
Sir, well,
good luck. Good luck.
I
When
date
your wife
women,
gets
sir.
home, tell her to have my food ready.
I date women, sir. I mean, you sound like a very upset, angry gay male.
Tell your wife to bring home some Popeyes.
Sir, are you a gay, angry male, sir?
Dude, this isn't working for you.
Right. I'm very sorry that you're gay, but we're in a new era.
Dude,
You'll
it's
find
not
somebody.
working for you.
Please stop talking to me. You're making me uncomfortable.
It's not working.
No, your gay energy is too much.
Dude, it's not working for you.
Your gay energy is too much.
Do you have anything on Britney Griner?
Yeah, I think we should free Britney Griner. She's the one that's locked up in Russia, right?
Correct.
Go free her.
I think that for her trying to smuggle hash, her sentence should have been maybe, I don't know, like give her a straight year and then let her free. You know what I mean? Give her a good year and let her be like, oh fuck, I should never bring hash to fucking, try to get hash over the border ever again. I think a good year serves her right.
A year, really?
A solid year. I think she deserves a year for that shit.
A year for hashish oil?
For hash, yeah. We don't know what's going on in Russia. You don't smuggle no drugs in or out of Russia. Fuck that. What are you, crazy?
Right. So a year to me is pretty lenient, don't you think?
I think it's lenient.
I think it's harsh.
I think you should get the full 10, just like Russia's law demands.
The full 10 is crazy. The full 10 is real crazy. I would say a
10
year.
is the reason why they don't have a drug problem. The reason why they don't have hundreds of thousands of people ODing every year.
No, but they do. They do. Russia has one of the highest death rates for use of drugs, in fact. No. They have a major drug and
they have a heroin problem over there.
They have an opioid problem, an opium and opioid fentanyl problem. No, if you look it up, the numbers are horrible up there.
Right.
So the thing about it is, that's kind of harsh, though.
Yeah, I would say a year. Back to what I was saying, I would say a year for me personally. I don't think 10 years for hash is even realistic. I don't think that's even possible to even.
That's the law there.
Is that the law for what? I don't understand.
That's the law. That's what she can get up to 20 years. She'll probably get 10.
That's what
she'll probably get 10.
If she wins the gold medal for Russia, she'll get 2 months. I'm just saying.
The Olympics the Olympics are not for another 2 years. 2 years.
To me, she's irrelevant. To me, she's irrelevant. But as a person, like as a human being, I would say a year and then get her free. And why doesn't Biden, push to get her free? I don't know. Because I think if this was a 30-year-old white man that was a Navy SEAL or something like that, then he would be all over the news getting his ass the fuck out of there. But it's a middle-aged black woman from an irrelevant ass team, and it's a hash user, so he can't even, he's not saying shit for her. And I think that's the problem with Democrats as a whole, is they're very weak, and they only really like what's what benefits them. They don't really care what benefits the people, but we're brainwashed into thinking, the vice president's black. So clearly, we got to go for, this guy, fucking Joe Biden. And it's not a political show. I apologize.
Okay. Just
my opinion.
Just to counter some numbers, just the counterpoint, 7,300 people OD'd in Russia.
Okay.
That's the total number.
That's not a lot.
7,300.
That's not a lot. This year?
That's 2020. In 2019, it was 45. We have the exact numbers: 4569 in 2019, 7316 in 2020. They said in 2021, which is the most recent year during the pandemic, the numbers doubled. They don't have the final number, but the numbers doubled. So that's 15,000. You compare that to the United States, where literally over 100,000 people have OD'd.
Right.
So, and Russia's population is the same as ours. So
No, it's not. America's 330 million. Russia's 144 million. I know that off the top of my head. Check it.
Okay.
I'm right.
Okay. So
sir,
we have 3 times.
No.
No. Let's do per capita.
Is this always how
So-
you
No.
answer?
I just want to stop. I
$100,000.
Very
just
high
want to stop.
strung
No.
for
No,
Listen to me.
yeah.
Listen
No,
to
but
me.
I just want you to understand the population is not the same. We have twice as many. We have more people than Russia by a large margin.
Sir,
Okay,
would
let
you
me
ever
finish.
travel to Russia? Have
Let me
any
finish.
of you guys ever been to
Yes.
Russia?
I've been to Kamchatka for one. I've been to Moscow for two. Have you?
I've only been to St. Petersburg.
Okay,
I've
cool.
never
So
been
at least
to
you have.
Moscow.
All right.
I
Yes,
have
sir.
on
I've been
TV
to.
and in
Sir, I've
video
been to
games.
Svetska.
Does that count?
All right, congratulations.
Call
So
of Duty,
anyway,
baby.
It's 144 million. You should know that then.
This
Okay.
ain't Russia, bro.
We have, wait a second.
Go ahead.
So Russia has 144 million. We
Yeah.
have 340 million. Let's round it up. Let's say we have
Round
three
it up.
times. Listen, let me make my point.
Ma'am, can you let him
Let's say
talk,
we have
please?
3 times their population.
Thank you.
We have 3 times their population. We have 15 times as many people overdosing.
Your numbers
Okay.
are inaccurate. I'm sorry.
I mean, is this
The Russian
about an opiate
Russian National Institutions of Health,
epidemic? What are we
their
talking
numbers
about?
are off.
No, your numbers are off.
Where are we going with this, though?
Like, I don't understand, which numbers are you saying are off?
Your population count, your mortality rate. Well, you know what? Go ahead. Just go ahead.
Where are we going with this?
No, I mean, Russia's state agency. I can post this is according to the Moscow Times. Like, I can post the article. Like, I don't just throw stuff out. Like,
Yeah,
especially stuff like this.
Right. I'm sure the Moscow Times is going to publish an accurate amount of their actual drug and alcoholism problem.
And this is Open Media said.
Who cares about Russia, though? What are we talking about?
Well, that's kind of what we're talking about.
Right,
we're talking about Britney Griner.
Okay, let me do this. Late night, Richard. Are you done with your commentary?
Oh, am I getting kicked off? Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
All right. Good night. All right, Haran, welcome to the panel.
Hey, I'm a little late.
Sir.
I'm a little late to the show. Sounds like the only person saying something sensible is Jabari.
Oh.
I don't.
There's the info.
Them is fighting words. What you got to say, Haran?
From what I'm hearing, I'm just hearing a lot of American privilege being tossed around here, as if, you know what I mean? Look, it's their home, it's their house, their laws, their rules. You know, regardless of what you think, how things should work in America, it bears no weight. It holds no water. She went over there, she committed a crime that she shouldn't have committed. She is going to face the penalty. And she should face the penalty to the fullest extent. Whether that be 10 years.
So you're saying give her the dime.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? Hey, look, listen. You know, these are the things that you should think about before you take those kinds of risks in areas that you don't live in. You don't know what their laws are. You don't know what's going on. And, you know, as luck would have it, she actually did this right smack in the middle of a political tug of war. I mean, talk about rotten luck. You know what I mean? So, hey, you know, she's going to be a casualty of all of this. And in the end, hey, you know, she'll be collateral damage and she'll be an example.
Dang.
It is what it is.
No mercy, Haran? No mercy for the American?
Hey, look, man, I see black people, you know what I mean, get 5 years for a gun, an unloaded gun. She'll be okay. Okay. She'll be
Jen,
okay.
what do you want to happen? What do you think? What would you want to happen?
What would I want to happen?
Yes.
I'm kind of like, don't do the crime if you can't do the time.
That's it.
So you're saying you want her to stay there for 10 years?
I don't want her to stay there at all. I feel bad. But I know when, you know, play stupid games, get stupid prizes. My daddy always told me, do not get
Jen, wait. Jen, let me ask you a question.
Attorney on retainer. That's Jen, what he told me.
Jen, can you, I want to ask you an honest question.
I do feel bad, though. I'm not
Do you feel bad? Do you feel bad because she's a woman?
No, because I don't even see her like a woman. No offense.
Oh well.
I'm saying I'm thinking of her as human, but I'm not looking at her like, oh, a woman, and she shouldn't be in there because she's a woman. Listen, she can rival most men I know. She's 6'9", she's an athlete.
Right.
She's no wilting flower. So my thing is more just from a human, you know what I mean? Like, I hate to see anybody's freedom taken away, but I was raised up. My daddy told me, do not come in this house or do not get locked up if you don't have an attorney, because I'm not going to get y'all. That's what he told all of us. So that's how I grew up. It's like, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Do I want to see somebody spend a decade in prison? No, but I'm like, honey, you knew that before you went there. I wouldn't do it. Like I said, I'm watching how much my shampoo weighs and my water bottle, because I don't want to go through the BS at the airport. But she went in there like, I'm taking this hashish and no one's going to do anything about it.
Look, listen, as a black man, I always think about the worst case scenario. I always think about the worst case scenario, and before I make a decision, and whatever decision I make, I make peace with the fact, like, okay, the probability of this might happen. You know what I mean? And how do I feel about that? And if it's a go, it's a go.
Yes. And how old is she? How old is this girl?
I think she's still in her 20s. She's like late 20s.
How old is she?
Anybody got any info?
She was born in 1990. She's 32. 31.
Oh.
She'll be 32 in October.
Oh, okay.
Man, by the time she gets out, I'll be retired.
Oh my God.
So was she.
It's fucked up.
I was just about to say so.
How long has she played?
Okay.
I feel like I'm trying to consider things. How long has she played? Did she live her dream? Did she play?
Yeah, she's played about 10 years. She graduated from. I remember her when she I actually watched women's college basketball. Like, I'm actually a women's college basketball fan. Not so much the WNBA, but women's college basketball. And I remember her when she was at Baylor. Like, she was a dog. Like she was a dog. Like, she is a great. She's not good for a girl. She's a great basketball player, and I respect that. And I liked her. Like, I liked her as a player, but you can't go in other people's country pulling that bull. Like, that's just American arrogance. Like,
It is.
that's just American, and it's entitlement. I mean, we can dress it up any way we want, but it's nothing but a sense of entitlement. And by the way, I dropped the stats in the chat. The United States doesn't even have 2.5 times the population of Russia, and we had more than 10 times the drug deaths. They had 7,300. We had 92,000.
Let's go, more chaos. Let's go.
That's not true, Super Sly. I'd say this about a male American as well. I hate to hear that you're gonna lose 10 years of your life, right? But I'm like, don't do stupid shit. Like, even with my father's warning, I still did stupid shit, but I knew I had to get myself out, right? I feel bad, but it was.
We used to have an expression. Everybody got to take a beating sometimes.
Right.
Take your beating.
Beatings for my decision. Beatings for my decision. I feel bad, but I'm looking, okay, you're 31. You already lived your dream for 10 years. You'll come out, you'll be 40. You'll be okay.
If you're lucky, you'll get 10.
Well, listen, man, I know one of my boys flat out said, I don't commit crimes because I'm a snitch on everybody.
Exactly. Exactly. If they catch me, they call me. I'm telling it like it is. Everybody going down.
I'm telling it on everybody.
I told y'all I didn't want to do it, right? I told y'all from the start I didn't want to do it.
Wait a minute. Super Sly said the irony of all this is that she's paying child support to her ex.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
She's gonna be a bitter black man when she get out. I shouldn't have said that.
Oh my God, I'm done. I'm out.
I should have said. I'm sorry.
She should start writing a book right now.
Yeah, you're right. Whoever said that is 100% right.
That was me.
Yeah, you're right. Monster Truck, you are 100% right. She needs to start writing a book.
Like Mein Kampf.
Super Sly, the Russian won. Entitled Black
Woman 0.
Oh man, that's terrible.
You can give them Russia 10.
You don't feel bad, Super Sly?
10 years.
See, Jen, I'm like this, right? You're gonna go to sleep tonight, right?
Yes.
You're not gonna think 2 seconds about this lady.
Nope.
I'm not.
Not at all.
Nope.
Not at all.
Not gonna
That
lie.
You feel
that
bad
that
now, but when you press
that
that
Royce
leave studio button,
that
and
a
you be like,
Royce Victoria will
shit.
taste better than a motherfucker.
You gonna look at your family. You gonna kiss them like this. Hey, I ain't bring no hashish up in this motherfucker. That's what you gonna say.
Yeah,
Like,
Jen, you know who else you're not going to think about? You're not going to think about Ghislaine Maxwell either.
At all.
At all.
At all. At all.
I love you know what, this is what America is. This is what happens when you have too much time on your hands.
Shawana, I doubt that. I doubt that. I doubt that.
Oh, she don't know about them stories? They fight. Them two,
Who?
Griner and her wife.
Oh,
They
I heard
Oh
about
yeah, she
they had
beat the hell out of her
scandals
wife,
already.
and she beat
Oh,
the
yeah,
hell out of her
they-
And they was having cheating
ex-girlfriend.
scandals.
yeah.
I'm telling you, she
Yeah.
probably
Oh, yeah.
happy Britney's over there.
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you. She's
Because
like,
the
she's a
wife gonna
pookie.
write a book.
the domestic
Yeah, she's a
violence
pookie.
serious.
yeah, like she was beating her down. I'm like, yo, like you need to go to jail. Like she's not a man. Like
That's
you
the
beat
she's
like
not a wilting flower. I don't see her like, oh, the girl is in prison. That's the whole dude. 6
Let me
9.
tell you something. If Britney Griner was a dude, Britney Griner would be locked up for domestic violence already. Like that's a fact.
exactly. Like
absolutely.
she beat
Like she
that
is
girl,
beating up. Like real talk, she's beating up like her last like 3 girlfriends, and she beat up
Yeah.
her wife. And like this goes all the
Yeah.
way back to college. Like if she was a dude, her ass would be locked up.
So you're
And
saying this is karma? Or you're saying this is karma?
no, I'm saying that
Nah.
her ass broke the law and she broke the law.
Exactly.
She broke the law in Russia, and she about to get that juice.
Well,
That's
I'll
what I'm
say
saying.
this. Well, I'll say this. She broke the law in the wrong place. She was better off doing that in America. Maybe she would have got off.
She
broke
would have
the
got
law in
off for
Russia.
sure.
While
She
she's
would've
in this,
broke
she
the law
should
in
learn.
Russia.
All right,
She should.
So
Okay.
the trial is tomorrow. It's mañana.
Yay.
I will be thinking about her tomorrow because I want to know what's going to happen. Do you think she's getting the 10 or not? The New York Times saying she's getting the 10. Other media outlets are saying she's getting the 10. You guys are saying no.
She's
I'm
getting the
saying-
hammer
She's
and
gonna get
sickle
the 10.
thrown at her.
I'm
But
saying
I don't think she's
absolutely
going
yes.
to do it. She's not going
She's
to
gonna
do
get
that
the 10.
whole 10 years, though. She's going to get it, but she's going to get out of there earlier than that.
Well, the Russians they've already started talking about a swap. There's a Russian billionaire that had his assets frozen. He
Yep.
was a weapons smuggler. Watch this.
Oh,
Watch this. He's a weapons smuggler. He's been convicted in the U.S. and Russia. He turned himself into the U.S. so that he could go to jail here. Russia wants him back.
Uh-oh.
So they said, you know, the feelers are they'll give Britney, they'll suspend her sentence and send her back if they can get him back. But Buddy is a billionaire. His nickname was, they called him, you can search him, they called him the Angel of Death because he was a weapons.
yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, what he would do is he would steal old Russian equipment and sell it on the black market, like Russian military equipment. And yeah, Russia wants his ass back. Sorry, I don't mean to cuss in your channel, Jen, but Russia wants him back big time because don't nobody want to go to jail in Russia.
Okay,
Like
so
the Russian mafia.
that changes everything then.
Yeah.
Nope, because
Well,
That's
give
him
the
up.
Angel of Death for
how
Snowden. That's coming out my
strong
mouth.
of a bargaining chip is
Wait,
she
one at a
though?
time. I'm trying to hear.
How strong of a bargaining chip is she though? That's what I'm saying. In order for that to go
America's
down.
like crying and they got the picket signs out and they're like,
Yeah, they don't care about that. Our government don't care about that. If the State Department cared about Britney Griner at all, when the Russians agreed to allow her to call her wife, which they do not do for anyone, the State Department would have made sure that somebody at the embassy answered the phone. Like they don't care about, like Britney Griner is no one's priority in the administration. Like she is no one's priority. This is a handful of people in media care about her. And as a result, you have people who follow whatever media follows. But the fact is, the administration does not care about Britney Griner. They do care about that dude with his billions of dollars, and they're trying to get their hands on that billions of dollars. And what the Russians asking for him does is give the government leverage to say, all that money you still hiding, you need to turn that money over so that we don't turn you over to the Russians.
She's essentially a great media talking point, but overall, she doesn't have really that much value. She doesn't really.
Yeah, she's insignificant.
It's not like saying like, oh my God, LeBron James got caught up into this, and it wouldn't even have gone this far. It was him. That man is literally an economic engine.
Because he doesn't do stupid stuff like this.
Exactly. So it's a completely different situation. She's going under. She's done.
I agree with Jabari that it's a handful, because even when it was Tamika Mallory and Al Sharpton, it looked like 20 people in front of the Russian here in America. It was only like 20 people out there.
Yeah, nobody cares. I'm not trying to be funny, but nobody cares.
When they were protesting, was there actually anybody in the Russian consulate or the embassy?
No, they were outside. So. They were just outside on the side.
No, but I mean, were there any Russians in there?
We've broken off diplomatic relations.
Yeah, I think that building was empty.
They had a banner, and it was like 20 people, and Tamika Mallory yelling some things, and Tamika Mallory didn't even seem well versed and on point like she usually is. She was like, racism and LGBT, like she didn't look on point either. I was like, she must have been doing something else that was more important. Just stop by.
She probably didn't know what she was
that's
there
another
for.
issue I have with them. Like they're trying to speak on something that you don't know because that's another country.
And another thing, you also have to look at it. You have to look at it from a political perspective. This is a black gay woman. Okay, this is just the left eats this shit up. Okay, all right, let's just call it what it is. All right,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is a great, especially during Pride Month. You know what I mean? This is a great talking point. This is, you know what I mean? This is a great little, spin to go around the media circle. After the story loses steam, which it will, and she'll be sentenced, we'll move on. There's just so much political, so just a whole bunch of things tied to this, that just makes it, a lot more important than it actually is.
Is this true? Missed 11 phone calls, Super Sly, or are you just trolling? Is that true? Is that how many?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Are you kidding me? So the US was like, we're not here right now. Leave a message. Oh my God, nobody cares.
Like yo,
now they was playing the music like they did back in the day.
No one who this like
they was playing R. Kelly. They were playing R. Kelly for the voicemail.
Like that was Clinton number. Nah, this is a new one.
And is this true? They said they're not gonna give her a bed that fits.
Okay.
6'9". She's 6'9". Who's gonna look out?
It's jail in Russia. Exactly. She's lucky she has a bed.
Exactly.
I can't.
This is not the fourth season.
I mean, you can't put an order in. What is this, law-abiding citizen? Where you gonna tell them what bed you want?
My
Jen, let me tell you something about America, Jen.
Ron, did I lose you?
Yeah.
D, welcome to the panel. What say you?
Yo, what's happening, man? Yo, I just want to say this, man. See, we live in a society where women aren't held accountable for their actions, and people are making all these excuses for Britney Griner and blah blah blah. And also, what's another plus for her? She's a gay black woman, so like the dude said before, they're gonna eat that up. And she did something wrong. She need to get the repercussions for it. If this is a dude, we wouldn't be doing all this. Because it's a woman, we trying to, let her slide with stuff, man. And I think it's some bullshit. What say you?
Okay. Well, we've said for almost the past 2 hours, so you're very, very late. But thank you.
I don't think anybody on this panel is defending her.
We're not.
We just disagree about how long she should get. I'm down with the 10.
Right. Like I know it's like no one's making any excuses for her. Like, I'm like, you don't do the crime if you can't do the time. I feel bad because I'm American and she's an American, whether it was a 12-year-old boy, a 60-year-old man, a 50-year-old woman, and a female athlete. I still feel like, damn, you about to be gone and you're not even gonna have a bed that fits. Like, I feel bad for you. But it's like Big Trucker said, tomorrow am I gonna be thinking about this? Yeah, because I want to know what happened at the trial, but then I'm gonna move on to my sandwich. It is true. It is true. So I don't. Once I start hearing the, women aren't held accountable, and I already know what that is.
She being held accountable.
No, she's being held accountable because she's in Russia. If that was here, they would have given her a slap on the wrist and it wouldn't have done nothing.
Yeah,
but
they
over
wouldn't
there,
even.
they're not playing. It's like, and the shame of it is, again, I say this is a failure of the system here. She should have never been able to get on the plane with any of that stuff.
I agree.
When I've gone through magnetometers, they pulled me aside. They pulled me aside in magnetometers for having pennies in my pocket. Pennies. And they're like, yeah, we need to check part of your body. You got pennies. She got through vape cartridges? Really?
Yeah. And like I said, I fly business class. And the fact that she got on an international flight with that is what's shocking. Right? The fact that she made it on an international flight is what. No, I'm agreeing with you, bro. That is shocking.
Yeah.
But I tell you what. Is certain countries, like, you don't leave your bags in the U.S. Like, you don't leave your bags around in the airport in the U.S.
Well, this stuff was hers though.
No, I'm saying, like, they'll take your bags, like they'll disrupt your flight plans, like you know what I'm saying? Like, if you leave a bag and like TSA or whomever find it, you're gonna miss your flight. You explain why you left your bag. You explain, like,
right. Why were your bags not in your sight the whole time?
Right.
But you know what? I just came back from going to Maldives, Muslim country, and I didn't even know this till I got there, but it's illegal to import alcohol into Maldives. Now, I flew business class, and even flying business class, it didn't matter. If I had bought any alcohol at one of those duty-free shops and I tried to bring it in, it would have been illegal to bring that alcohol in there. Not only that, it's illegal to open a bottle of alcohol while you're on the tarmac. You got to wait till you're on a resort, or you have to wait until you're in the air on a plane. Now, these are little things that I did not know. But when I heard about it, I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm not buying any alcohol while I'm there. But again, some Americans, they don't give a shit about these other countries' laws. They find out the hard way.
But see, just like when someone told you, you were like, oh, then I won't do that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You know, you can't bring no hash in nobody else's country. Like,
no, hashish. Oh, it was hashish oil.
Yeah.
In a vape cartridge.
Again. Yeah. Again. Yeah.
I wanted to Reese really quickly. Reese, she's actually 6'9".
6'9", yeah.
Not even 6'5". Reese thought she was 6'5". She's
Look at the video. Look at the video of her being led in those shackles. It looks like a grasshopper with like chains on. It's crazy.
That'll help her. Honestly, that'll help her in Russian prison. She ain't got to worry about getting beat up at least.
Can you imagine what her cell is like? Her cell, she's probably longer than the cell.
Well, no, they said that they do have her in solitary, so that she's not in gen pop with the other prisoners, because she doesn't speak the language. You have to. Now, here's another thing you have to understand about Russian prisons. They're a lot like American prisons. The gangs run those prisons.
Yeah.
And the Russian gangs, ain't nobody trying to mess with them. Like, our gangs don't mess with Russian gangs here. Like, ain't nobody trying to mess with them. And they run a lot of the prisons.
Essentially the Russian mafia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody.
I mean, like, for real. Like, this, like, she's going to do 10 years pretty much in solitary confinement, because she would have problems. Like, they would extort her. Like, she would have to kick cash to them every single month or every single week or whatever. Like, she will have to serve her time, only because she doesn't speak the language, and she might be Mike Tyson in there, but Mike Tyson only gonna fight so many people. He only gonna knock so many of them out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
While she's
So
there, they should have like somebody there to teach her Russian. Like she should like learn Russian, like in the movies. And when she gets out, like she just speak in Russian, write a book in Russian and all that. That'd be cool.
On that note, we're gonna end this stream, gentlemen. Thank you so much. This was so insightful and educational. I wrote down a lot of notes because I want to look up some of the stuff that you guys say. So what are we doing? Free Britney Griner or play stupid games, win stupid prizes?
Let her big ass out. Let her big ass out. Let her out.
Yeah, let her out 10 years from now.
Much.
I say may the odds be in your favor.
Oh my God.
I wish you well.
You guys are terrible. Haran, what say you?
It is what it is, baby.
Like we can't defend. Like how can we defend you smuggling stuff in a country? We can't defend that.
I tell people all the time, it is what it is. If you're gonna do what you're gonna do, you gotta deal with the consequences, man. Like if you put it this way, the fact that you put yourself in that kind of situation shows me that you're dumb enough to not to really think of the whole scope of what you're actually doing.
She's a lesbian. Come on, man. They don't think.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Joe Chuck
okay,
trying to get
that
this
is-
flag now.
yeah,
Now
okay,
he's just trying to get
that
this
is-
flag. Oh my
Pretty
God.
much.
This will be a non-monetized
I mean, he just lost like
Monetized,
$50. He
none
just
of my
lost like $50 off that right quick. Oh, God.
We're gonna have one live where she gets monetized. We're gonna do it.
One day.
We're gonna give you
One day.
one.
Not this one,
But
though.
yeah, Jen, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. 10 years, it should be all right, man.
No, repeat after me. Your pustillo. In Russia, that means let her go. Your pustillo. Your pustillo. Your pustillo.
This is
Yeah,
America.
no, I'm good. I'm good.
Like, come on. Yo, Castillo, Britney Griner.
Your pustillo.
Yeah, I'm good.
He has. Yeah, I don't know Russian. So, all right, guys. So, good night. This was amazing. I want my vision back. Yes, watch the replay. This was really, really dope. I'm proud of this one. I love when panels go this way. And thanks to you guys, it went this way. Sorry for the interruptions and the lames that came up here. That's why I got rid of them. But it didn't interrupt our flow. And I'll be back tomorrow. I got it. We got to talk about the update. I got to know how much time she's getting. Oh, no, it starts tomorrow. The trial starts tomorrow, but she doesn't get sentenced tomorrow, does she?
No. She has
No, they have to go through the formality of finding her guilty.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Essentially, we have to waste the court's time.
Right. That's not a waste in Russia. It's not a waste in Russia.
When do we get the sentence?
Whenever Putin says, listen, if you
Yeah.
want me to stop bombing these Ukrainians, all right?
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen either.
That's what's gonna happen. When you want me to stop bombing these people, I'll say, how about this? I'll give you a sentence. And it's 12 years.
Brittany. All right, guys. Well,
We're rooting for you, Brittany, but not
You
when
know,
I wake up. First thing in the morning, I'm not.
You know, Putin's only like 5'0" nothing. I'd like to see him next to her.
he's not gonna do that. I doubt he'll stand.
Yo, you will have that man cause a nuclear holocaust with his pride alone. Don't do that.
Putin's 5'7". I'll give him those extra inches. He's a short guy, but
He's
I'll
not
give him.
5'7".
He is 5'7".
Yes,
He
he
is
is.
5'7".
Yes,
He's
he
5'7".
He 5'7" on the internet. He 5'4".
Dude, his
That man's
official
a
height
midget.
is 5'7".
In his head, which he put on that site.
Now I'm 6'6", and this woman is 6'9". Now I've stood next to Shaq before, and Shaq is 7'2". So this chick is staring down at the top of my head, and I'm staring down at the top
beautiful
of
of a
Putin.
picture that would be Britney Griner and Putin standing next to each other, and his face is in her futa all day long.
I
Like
agree.
it's like this 6'9" woman's.
No. He should get behind her and do a picture with his head's between her legs, and he's prying her legs open.
Oh
He's
my
putting
God! No,
putting
you're
his head
going
through
too far.
this.
Now
Jesus
this definitely got
Christ.
demonetized.
Jesus
This definitely
Christ.
not.
Here you go,
Jen,
Miss
sign
Bunny.
off, Jen.
Oh,
John,
oh
sign
my
off before your
God.
They're
show
not
gets
going to
canceled.
demonetize you for that. They're not going to demonetize
I
you.
am out. So, okay, so the trial starts, just to be clear, the trial starts tomorrow, but no sentencing tomorrow.
It should be a few
No,
minutes,
yeah.
right?
No.
Because the
Right.
wait,
No,
what's
the
the
trial
time
will last
zone?
a while. They'll stretch it out. It'll last, I think they're estimating that it's going to last about a month. I don't see how. They'll let them play their games, but it's Russia. They're going to convict her.
She's already guilty.
What bothers me is she's only getting convicted on like a videotape that's 2 minutes long and the hashish oil. So why should this take
Wait,
longer
they
than a
didn't
day?
find it on her?
No, they have it. I'm
No,
just
they have
saying.
it. They have it in her bag.
This shouldn't take more than a couple of days. There's no
Right.
reason to drag this out.
Right.
Now let's drag it up because we got to
But
get Jen
again,
monetized on live.
there's a political component attached to this. There's a story attached to this. There's money attached to this. There's a whole bunch of stuff attached to this.
Yeah, she ain't got no money.
I want to
Not no
read
Russian
I'm
money.
talking about the media. I'm talking about the media. The media actually, benefiting from all of this.
Yeah, but Russia don't care about our media either.
after the trial. I want to revisit. Poor Britney. All right, guys, I am out. Thank you.
Good night, Jen.
Thank you
Y'all
so
have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Good night, guys. All righty. That was amazing. Please hit that like and subscribe on your way out. Do not forget OnTheBlockWithJen at Gmail. If you have an idea or something you want me to dissect, that you have a gripe for me, I may answer, I may not. OnTheBlockWithJen on Instagram and OnTheBlockWithJen on Facebook. This was really, really dope. Every now and then I'm proud of one of the panels I have. This was a good one, very informative. If you're just getting here, just rewind. And I'll see you guys maybe mañana with something else that's juicy. All right, guys. Good night. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here and all your support. Good night. And I'm out.